Hey gamers, Tony here from the Classically.com Gaming and Electronic Podcast, back with another app review, and today I'm reviewing the game Orc Vengeance, developed by Big Cave Games and published by Chillingo. This is a single player game and it's a universal app. You can buy it in the App Store for $2.99. And today I'm recording this footage on the iPad 2 with the AverMedia Game Broadcaster HD. Now, humanity once ruled the world and had conquered the Dark One, who is the evil character in the game, but the Dark One rose to power again and destroyed humanity and the orcs. And so you play as an orc war chief, Rock, as he sets off on a quest to avenge the fallen orc brothers and destroy the Dark One. Now, this story seems to have a lot of the Lord of the Rings influence into it, and some of the characters and dialogue, I just picked up on that, maybe you will too. As far as the presentation goes, it's a top-down dungeon crawler that uses point-and-click mechanics mixed with gesture-based controls for special attacks. Now, I grew up playing games like Diablo, so it's refreshing to see a point-and-click dungeon crawler that presents itself so well on the iOS platform. Now, sure, there's already dungeon crawlers on the platform, but most of them have opted for free roam controls with a virtual analog stick as well as button mashing. I'll say from the start that I love the presentation of Orc Vengeance because it brings the traditional style of dungeon crawlers to iOS and it works really well. As it should be. It's a touch-based device, I mean, come on. Now, as far as the gameplay concerns, this is the biggest section of the review because there's tons to cover. But you journey as Rock, as I mentioned, the Orc War Chief, and it's going to take you between 5 and 8 hours to complete depending on how much looting you want to do on your journey. You play across 5 acts, and each act has multiple levels, and the gameplay follows a simple format within each act. You fight random enemies, collect loot, usually face a mid-level obstacle of some sort such as swarming enemies, go back to fighting random enemies, collecting loot, and prepping to face the boss at the end of the act. Now, I don't mean for this to make the game sound boring because it's far from that. I just say it to let you know that it follows the same format we've come to love in dungeon crawlers, and they execute the formula very well. The game stays mixed up with multiple enemies and locations as well as plenty of loot to collect, and the entire game is very dark, and it's a dungeon crawler, so it really lives up to the name. Now, when it comes to your character and development, Orc Vengeance provides a great amount of depth, and I want to mention that as much as I can of it to you because it's important for you to know in a review. Your character's life is based around 3 meters, red, green, and blue at the bottom of the screen. The green is armor, the red is health, and the blue is the vengeance meter, which is kind of like magic. When you battle, your armor goes fast, but it protects you from losing your health fast, and your vengeance meter just depends on how much and how often you use the vengeance attacks. Now, you can attack by simply touching an enemy once and your character begins to auto-attack. Your character also has gesture-based vengeance attacks that when you activate with one of 4 gestures, such as a double tap, swipe, or drawing a circle. Now, you find vengeance attacks throughout the game in treasure chests, so they can be upgraded and you will find multiple ones on your journey. And you can select which attacks you want to place in which gesture boxes, so you can use it as kind of like a hotkey throughout the game. You can also place health vials and other similar potions in gesture-based motion slots. For example, I might have a shield bash set to activate when I double tap, and my health potion set to activate when I swipe the screen. So once you play, you'll really begin to understand it, and it works really well. As far as upgrades, your character auto levels up, and when he does, you get to select one of 4 attribute points and where they will be spent. Now, you can spend them in either the attack, defense, greed, or vengeance, and all of them are pretty self-explanatory except greed. And all that means is your character begins to fight enemies and they drop more gold, and your character is more apt to find special treasures if you choose to upgrade the greed portion of the leveling up. Now, your character is not only the only thing that can be upgraded. You can actually spend gold to upgrade weapons, defenses, or attacks, and depending on the level of your character, and so there's really a lot of customization as far as your character is concerned. I also want to mention the fluidity of the game. I was really impressed with how they tailored this to the mobile device while staying true to the dungeon crawler as a genre. The vendor system and looting system is a perfect example. As you loot, if you pick up the sword that you already have in your inventory, it automatically turns to gold at the end of each level. There's also a vendor option where you can trade with a simple drag and drop to buy and sell for more upgrades. There are also in-app purchases in the game for more gold, but they're not needed at all. They're more for convenience for people that want to speed the process up. I was actually able to beat the entire game and never had to buy any extra gold. Overall, I'm very pleased with the gameplay department, and my only complaint with the game is that there's only one difficulty level, but believe me, it's pretty challenging. I just know there's going to be some hardcore gamers out there that are clamoring for more. As far as graphics are concerned, the game looks really good. Although the entire game is really dark, the environments are mixed up just enough to keep them fresh. The character models also look great, there's no pop-in, and graphically this fits the dungeon crawler genre well. The controls, well, there's not much to say. It's point and touch, so it works well with the auto attack. My biggest initial concern with the controls were the gesture-based actions and whether or not they would interfere with fast-paced gameplay. But to be honest, they all work really well. The circle one's the only one that can be annoying at times when you have to draw a circle, but for the most part they're really fine. In conclusion, Orc Vengeance is a strong dungeon crawler on the iOS platform. Although it sticks to the traditional formula, it's fresh to see that formula working so well on the platform, as well as tailoring itself to fit well into the mobile gaming world. Dungeon crawlers aren't for everyone, but if you're like me and want a fresh interpretation of the classics that you grew up with, you won't be able to put this one down. Pick up Orc Vengeance today. Thanks again for watching. Once again, Tony from the classically.com Gaming Electronic Podcast. Make sure you like and favorite this video, and please subscribe to us and support us on YouTube. Also go over to g2po.com, that's Gaming 2.0, and make sure you follow our channel there. Have a great day.